All right. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. We have a beautiful opening sacred space for you today with Verdeluz. And so let me just go live on Facebook here, and then we can begin.
Welcome, everyone. It's so great to be with you here today. Very excited. We'll just give a couple minutes for other people to show up. Just settle in for the morning or the evening, wherever you're at. And you have a
And
beautiful,
everybody,
yeah.
yeah, go ahead and put your name and location in the chat as you're joining. All right, we will be live here on Facebook in just a second. Should be good to go now.
Eco in Asheville, Milky Way. I love it.
Awesome.
I'm in Asheville, Milky Way as well.
Oh, and Rose from Black Mountain. Wow.
Wow, representing. So yeah, the storm is here today. We've had the most amazing weather for 3 weeks, and finally it looks like the tropical storm has hit us. So it's coming through. It's probably going to tear down all these leaves that were left, unfortunately. Wilmington, wow, Vermont. I want to get out there so much. Yeah, beautiful.
Okay, so we're officially live on Facebook.
All right.
And I think we're good to go.
Well, welcome everyone to the day 4 of the 2021 initiation portal. So excited to be with you here today. And I wanted to offer today a few different opening practices for us. We're going to journey into some poetry again, as we did on Tuesday, and also some meditation videos with some of the music I've been composing. Part of the intention with this is we have some pretty intense energy in the sky today. This is a day where the moon is conjunct Mars in Aries. And so, astrologically, one of the things that we do is, we either, when we're going through a big transit or a cycle personally, or collectively, there's these two primary ways we can work with it. One is, let's move that energy really cathartically, and like shake it out, or we do a remedial practice to balance that energy. So that's, where we might use like certain herbs, right? Or certain foods that we eat. For having a big Mars transit, that's a lot of spice, that's a lot of, fire. So we can remediate that through more of the water, more of the softness, more of the meditative. So archetypally, we can bring in more of the dream body, the trance body, to help balance some of the fire. So the Moon-Mars conjunction can make us more irritable, more defensive, more impatient. It can make us also motivated and driven. And as the day goes on, Moon will square Pluto, and it's squaring Jupiter as well. So we'll get fired up, we'll have a lot of energy, and we can be very inspired with the Mars square to Jupiter and go very deep into some healing and some cathartic release when the moon is square Pluto. But this is a more powerful day. And so I want to start here today with bringing us into a meditation into our heart space. The cycles we're going through are very intense, Mercury and Mars retrograde and all these other big cycles. And we have to live in our heart and stay in our heart. So I'm going to invite you to do a short meditation with me here, and you can take it into the couple videos that we'll watch and the poems that we'll listen to before we dive into our amazing speakers for the day. I'm also going to play the Turkish guitar for a few moments during the meditation to help assist with that process. So this meditation is really to bring down love and the spirit of the all of cosmic consciousness down deep into our heart space. And so what we want to do is we want to sit up straight, feel the spine aligned. And as some of the great tantric masters teach, when the spine is completely aligned, there is an ability to open to the great source in a way that can really pry open not only our heart, but every one of our chakras. So we want to sit up straight and just take in a deep inhalation from the cosmos, from the heavens, down through the crown chakra. And as you breathe that in, you're going to let it rest right in the heart space. And hold the breath there for a few moments. They say that the goddess Shakti lives in the pause between the breath. We can access all of her pregnant potential in the space between the in-breath and the out-breath. And when you're ready, you can exhale and send that heart loving energy back up and out to the source, to great creator, Wankantanka, God, Shiva, all the great beings that are really our true selves, the most cosmic level. Bring it back in with another deep breath into the heart. And hold it there in the heart. In Tantra, the heart is another name for the source or for Shiva, for cosmic consciousness. It's called Hridaya. And so when you feel this Hridaya, connect your individual heart with the great heart, with the one heart that beats and pulses through all beings, through everything, animate, inanimate. When you're ready, exhaling that back out and continuing that breath into the heart, and just send out that love with each inhalation and exhalation. Feel it enter and transmit through you for our whole day together. Taking in one more deep breath, letting it rest in the heart space. Holding the breath and then just allowing that deep exhale, sending out the love for the day, the gratitude. So you can open your eyes. I'm going to light some sage here. And I invite you to come into sacred space again for the day ahead and really connect with your guides and your allies, the totem beings, the animal realms. Just feeling in for a moment who's present for you. Maybe there's a certain guide or a totem that feels like it's calling you for the day, for the journey that we share here together. So internally you can call all the directions, all the spirits of the directions, and connect with your guides and your allies. And we're going to start here today with a meditation video, short video, just about 3.5 minutes. And I'm going to put a link in the chat for you. I'll also put it onto my computer, but you're welcome to go to the video. So you'll have the direct feed. And it's from my track called Shinto Lantern. And the Shinto Lanterns, you know, the Shinto shrines in Japan. Such a beautiful animistic spiritual religion where so much of nature is infused with the life force, the prana, the chi, the animated life force. And in Shintoism, mountains and trees, and you know, there's shrines all over the lands that have been found to have this sacred pulsing energy. And for me, it was very touching to be there. And so this track sort of came out of the spirit of that. And it's a journey into the sky and some of the aerial perspectives that we can get when we need to get out of the heaviness that we've been going through. We want to get that sort of cosmic or aerial perspective. So I'm going to put the link in the chat here, and you can go to the page on YouTube, and then we'll come back. We're going to share some poems and do one more video before we move into the beautiful lectures and presentations we have for you today. So here's the link in the chat. It's a YouTube link. And I'm gonna share the screen here and start that in about 10 seconds. So you're welcome to go to that link now and find that, and just come back when you're done, and we can have a moment to share if anything moves through you or from the meditation this morning as well. All right. Well, welcome back. If you want to come back, we're going to listen to some poetry now before we begin today. So many owls winging their way across the sky, says KM. Beautiful. As you know, that's my primary spirit animal, and the owl wing right here. So, yeah, beautiful. If you want to share, feel free in the chat about anything from the video, or that track is called the Shinto Lantern. It's Eternal Echoes, which is a series of albums that I continue to put out on my Bandcamp, celestial.bandcamp, and those are really albums that usually have about 20-minute long, 25-minute long tracks for meditation, dream work, ceremony. So definitely, if you enjoy that, you can go deeper with those tracks. Here's the link for that. And let's start to look at some poetry for today. I mentioned the transit in the sky, and it makes me think of these couple poems here. Now this is an amazing collection. I think it might still be available on Amazon. It's called The Story of the Heart, from my teacher of past life regression therapy, Roger Wolger, who was an incredible being. He's no longer on this plane, but he was a traveler to many dimensions, and he put this incredible collection together, and this section is called The Endurance of the Opposites. So this has a number of poems from around the world, mostly mystical, spiritual poetry. And this is from Zicheng Hong in Ming, China, between the 15th and 16th century. And it's called That Happiness Endures. That happiness endures, which comes from the grinding together of anguish and ecstasy, and from the intensity of that grinding. That knowledge is true that comes from the searching into doubts and beliefs, and from the depth of the searching. That knowledge is true that comes from the searching into doubts and beliefs, and from the depth of the searching. And then there's a passage from Jung about the opposites, the great Carl Jung. There can be no resolution, only patient endurance of the opposites, which ultimately spring from your own nature. You are yourself a conflict that rages in and of itself in order to melt its incompatible substance, the male and the female, in the fire of suffering, and thus create that fixed and unalterable form which is the goal of life. We are crucified between the opposites and delivered up to torture until the reconciling third takes shape. And it really brings up the, some of the energies in the sky right now with, the Mars opposite the sun last week, and then, Saturn and Pluto and Jupiter in the sky, and Mars squaring them. There's a lot of friction potential that we can see in the world and also within ourselves. And that's why I wanted to read those two pieces about the endurance of the opposites. Now, in the Wahu Ching, which I read from the other day, this is the unknown teachings of Lao Tzu, and one of my favorite books of all time. And so much of this work is about how we cut up the world, slice up the world with our discursive mind. So, and really that the Tao is all about letting that mind go. So I want to read a bit from here. This is poem 72 in here. If you wish to gain merit and become one with the divine, then develop your virtue and extend it to the world. Abandon fancy theologies and imaginary ideas and do some ordinary daily work, such as healing. Let go of all conflict and strife. Practice unswerving kindness and unending patience. Avoid following impulses and pursuing ambitions which destroy the wholeness of your mind and separate you from the integral way. Neither become obsessed with circumstances nor forego awareness of them. To manage your mind, know that there is nothing, and then relinquish all attachment to the nothingness. To manage your mind, know that there is nothing, and then relinquish all attachment to the nothingness. So, I'm going to read a few of my shorter poems here for you as well. And one of them is called How to Collapse Space and Time. I wrote this in Costa Rica. Vulture hovers on the precipice of a pink cloud. A claw tiptoes into twilight. The human notices the animal's movement and collapses the space that only humans make between them. The human notices the animal's movement and collapses the space that only humans make between them as he merges with the subtle step and the winged one's cloud breath. In the fading ache of sunset, ocean continues to subsume them both. Silhouetted lovers swing arms, hold hands, clasp fingers, design destinies in the spiral galaxies of each eye. And with eloquent silence, they discuss nothing. While children shout their defiance of time and splash the heartbeat of the universe. And this is called The Trail to Heaven. Now, I wrote this right after coming back from Costa Rica, which was the end of March, that very powerful moment of making the decision of coming back to the States. I could have stayed in Costa Rica. It was a challenging time for all of us. And I was so present to the life that was emergent in the springtime. And it seemed that the voice was coming from the birds and the earth. And so I'm going to share a poem here called The Trail to Heaven. And then after that, we're going to close with a short song and video, which was done at that time. It was the springtime. Now we're in the fall, but that spirit of rebirth. And that's a song called Nostalgia for the Unborn. Here's The Trail to Heaven. Ye of the gloved and the gas masked, who dare go trek the abandoned world? Now listen to all the parallel dimensions of the equinox, crack open the great inquisition, the balancing act, the universal oversoul contract. We are the spring, its fountain of avian reverberation, remembering to on-crush an autumn reversal of anticipatory colors. We glide, cascade as winter drizzles snow pollen, and trumpet summer a song of reckless jubilance, our emancipation, proclamation. Humans, we need a break from you. As you stole our habitats, now we steal back our mother and the role reversal, for our great giver needs now to be nursed by her own children. So hark the angel animals sing, hashtag stay home, but not safe, for we demand you navel gaze and wrestle with your shadow dream. Educate your children the way they ask you to. Create from the magic wand you buried years ago in the basement box of your unconscious. Cultivate a luminous fairy awareness you abandoned in the attic altar to your star. Cultivate a luminous fairy awareness you abandoned in the attic altar to your star. And when you wish to emerge, dare your wild and come play in a landscape of glorious solitude. A trial alone, a trail in silence. And your hands clawing into the bark, read like a braille of wisdom. only forgotten by your species, to be here, now, with your infinity as your divinity, to be here now with your infinity as your divinity, a trail alone in sacred silence parallels the inevitable path to heaven. All right, so we have one more short video for you before we begin today. It's a meditation video. I'll put the link again in the chat. And this is really taking the same energy of this poem forward. And thanks, Tom. Thanks for the feedback on that poem. So this is a track called Nostalgia for the Unborn from my new album. And it's, I just allow you to move into it for the meditation. So here's the link in the chat, and I'll put it up on the Zoom, and then we will begin with our first guest today, Danielle Hoffman. All right, so you can begin the video when you are ready, and I will share my screen and begin that now. Enjoy. Right. Beautiful. Thank you all for journeying into the meditations and the poetry this morning. That was nostalgia for the unborn. And we are so excited to welcome our first guest. I will invite everyone to have the most beautiful day of your life ever. And oh, the sun just started shining right now. That's awesome. Yeah, and definitely if you like that music, please tune into the videos there, the meditation videos on that page, YouTube, and you can check out, again, the album at bandcamp.com, which is in the chat. Beautiful.
So beautiful. Thank you for sharing this with us and opening our space today with such beauty. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, well, welcome Danielle Hoffman. Hi, Danielle. Welcome.
Hi. Hi, everyone.
Hi. Yeah, we are live already, and we've been doing kind of a continuous live stream here, so it's been so beautiful. Welcome, Danielle. I'm so excited for you to be here and be a part of this event, and can't wait to talk with you today. Yeah, everybody, this is Danielle, and let me do one